Hi, my name is Erica and I make personal finance videos on this channel. And today, given the number of people who have filed for unemployment in the last few weeks, I just wanted to make a quick video on 5 things that you can do if you do get laid off. The first thing, as you might guess, is to file for unemployment. Most states make it pretty easy to do online, so just try to get that off of your to-do list in the first week or so if you can. The second is, if this is an option, negotiate a severance. Some companies may offer you a severance when they lay you off, and you just have to remember that everything is negotiable. If you've watched either of these 2 videos, you know that I'm a lawyer and I love to negotiate. So to the fullest extent possible, you should really try to negotiate the severance package that your company offers you and not just accept the first offer. The way I like to do it to give myself the courage to negotiate is to think of it in terms of best case scenario and worst case scenario. If you're negotiating your severance package, the best case scenario is that they're going to say yes and go up on that offer. The worst case scenario is they say no and it just remains at status quo. So it's really going to be to your advantage. You have nothing to lose by trying to negotiate your severance offer. What I would do is go in boldly, ask for something 30% higher than what you actually want so that there's room to negotiate, and then go from there. And just remember, the worst case scenario is they say no, but the best case scenario is that they say yes and you walk away with a larger severance package than you would have walked away with had you not said anything. Number 3 is absolutely critical. If you are laid off, you want to know exactly what your financial situation is. The first thing you'll want to do is figure out what your monthly expenses are. For this, I recommend looking at what you spent the last month and figure out of those expenses what's absolutely necessary to your survival and what's not necessary and maybe can be reduced or just cut out completely. For the time being, until you can secure another job, it's probably the best idea to really just cut out all of these unnecessary expenses and go on this short-term emergency budget until you're able to get yourself back up on your feet. Think of this emergency budget as just a short-term sacrifice that you're going to have to make while you're searching for work. And I know it's painful, but cut out all of those unnecessary expenses. You really just want to try to get your budget down to the bare necessities during this time. Some easy ones are going to be cutting out things like subscriptions that you don't need, but you also want to consider some of the bigger ones that are going to have a bigger impact on reducing your expenses. For most people, their biggest monthly expense is rent. So if that's the case for you, maybe consider taking in a roommate temporarily. As part of this figuring out your financial situation, you also want to figure out how much you've saved up, and based on that number that you just calculated for how much your monthly expenses are, figure out how many months worth of expenses you have in your savings. That brings me to number 4, which is if you have debt of any kind, perhaps credit card debt, call up your lenders, explain the situation, and see if they'd be willing to work with you somehow. Maybe that means delaying your payments, or maybe it means reducing your interest. Just one simple call could save you a lot of money, so it's worth doing that. Number 5 is to put yourself out there. Now is the time to start actively looking for work, even just part-time work to supplement your income. Or maybe now's the time, depending on your financial circumstances, to take that risk that you've always wanted to take. Build that business that you've always wanted to build. Start making money online. If you watch this video of mine, you'll have plenty of ideas for how to make money online. Look at all of the companies that were started in 2008, 2009 during the last recession. That's motivating. So if you're financially able to, go after that company that you've been wanting to build. Now is the time to take that risk and go all in if you can. Now is also the time to leverage your network. Update your LinkedIn profile. Reach out to your friends and family and let them know that you're looking for work. I know it's easy to feel really embarrassed about the situation, but remember that millions of people are in the same situation that you are, and it's nothing to feel ashamed of. It had nothing to do with your work performance or who you are. So just keep your head up, stay positive, and put yourself out there. This was far from an exhaustive list, but hopefully this gives you ideas for 5 things you can do just right away. And again, just remember to keep your head up, stay positive. I'm rooting for you, and if you have any personal finance questions that you want to run by me, or if you just want someone to talk to, message me on Instagram and I will respond. Thanks again for watching.